What up, people? Good afternoon. It's different. Normally I'm saying good morning because I get up and I get to this at like 6:30 in the morning, but I had a super late early morning with just recording and some other stuff, and like I'm human. I couldn't get up. I was like, man, I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna tap in with them later. And that's just, one thing to say. It's all about how you finish. You know what I'm saying? You might not always start. You could have a goal or a plan, and you want to, do something over the course of like so many days or whatever. And then, you're going to have those days where you don't really get to it. And then you're going to have some days where you're a little late, but it's just about it's all about how you finish as long as you get to it. So, I'm going to tap in real quick. We just going to read through these scriptures, finishing that, what I started, the 31 Days of Wisdom. We just read the scriptures, man, and just get some more insight, some more wisdom, some more clarity on happy Friday to everybody. Shout out to the Hustle, Pray, Eat gang. You know what I'm saying? They got me together with the hoodie, Hustle, Pray, Eat. You feel me? I appreciate they sent me a nice little care pack. Hustle, Pray, Eat is a clothing line out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And they got some dope hoodies, and I did like a promo record and just tapped in with them, and they just sent me like this. They sent me this dope shirt, the Hustle, Pray, Eat shirt. You know what I'm saying? So, plugged in, gave your boy a nice little bracelet. So I got one on. You feel me? So shout out to the Hustle, Pray, Eat gang. Shia. And also, man, just wanted to say shout out to everybody, man, that was, showing me love on the video, the TikTok video that I did. I appreciate the love on that, and everybody that, showed me love on what's coming up for 2021 with the acting, the distribution deal with Sony Music. So thank you guys, you know what I'm saying, just putting in that work. So let's get to this word. We in Proverbs 23. Proverbs chapter 23, we still talking about life and conduct. You know what I'm saying? The better your conduct, the better your behavior, the better your lifestyle choices, the more impactful, the more fruitful, the more profitable your life will be. You know what I'm saying? So the more that you keep applying pressure and getting this wisdom, getting this understanding, like just even your spiritual awareness, being sensitive to like, hearing God speak, just having an understanding for God. So, hey, I appreciate that for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for tapping in and just even sharing that. Like, that's encouraging, because that's all I want to do. I just want to bless it forward, encourage people. You know what I'm saying? Just put good energy, good vibes. 2020 been just like something different. You feel me? And it's been like one of the highest levels of like depression and anxiety. People been dying. 2020 got a lot of bodies. So this is a thing to like offset some of that. You know what I'm saying? Let's still keep our eyes on the prize, that like we still got to adapt and have solutions and be innovative. And that reading this and doing this every day is like a way to be more diligent, to be more proactive, to be dedicated to consistency, to be committed to your plans. And we need wisdom to be able to do that. We need, above all, we need like God's help. We need, those little small things to have our minds enlightened and stuff, and just really be woke out here and not falling for everything and believing everything, to increase your faith. You know what I'm saying? Don't waver in your good works. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your vision is, just, man, keep applying pressure by staying dedicated. And what we've been reading is the difference between people who procrastinate, people who are lazy, people who diligent, people who proactive. We've been learning about patience, learning how to respond and not react. And there's rewards in wisdom, not only just in the wisdom of God, but like when you able to have wisdom, you can make better decisions to benefit your life. And then you can start being so much more aware of like the people that you might need to cut out, or the people you might need to cut in, people's voices that you listening to that you shouldn't be. It'll give you this direction. Wisdom will guide you. It'll like establish you, like God will order your steps, and it's a flow. You feel me? Like when we on that right path, and it might come with some sacrifices, it might come with an increased level of discipline. You might need to like scale back on some stuff. You know, we're gonna break some negative mindsets. We're gonna break some mental processing that's not beneficial for your life. And that's all that I get from reading in Proverbs and reading the word. I see Nika in the building. What's up, Kayla? Thank you for tapping in, man. Love y'all. God bless you. So this been a ride. It's been a big boy journey. We 23 chapters in, which is basically like 23 days. And like, I just been getting up and just being like, y'all, like, you know, doing this work for the Lord, but also like y'all like motivate me to really be an example. And sometimes being an example don't mean that you like proving what you doing or trying to like boast or be bigger than what, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes just being an example is just getting to the spot, like just reading the word with you and being transparent and 100% authentic. You feel me? Like that's what I desire to do with doing this. And so people can see that like you can live and think one way, and then you can have an experience and a relationship with the Lord and still operate in the same way that drew you into those relationships and those friendships. But then you get to kind of set yourself apart by, you know, exemplifying like some of these leadership capabilities and these, because all of us are leaders. Somebody following us, somebody watching us, somebody listening, you know what I'm saying? So if they kind of watching how you move, and if you moving in a way that's contrary to your beliefs or your ideas, your standards, you know, if you a person that allows certain things to compromise that, then you feel me, we need people to like bring us up. So that's what I'm trying to do. I want people to come up. Like as I go up, I want people to come up with me. You feel me? But when you do get this, you know, awareness, you don't use it to like look down on people or try to make people feel bad for what you do that they don't do. That's like me trying to put a definition on you. And what happens is that the enemy and people, they try to put a definition on you to define who you are. And it's like, nah, like I already know who I am and whose I am. So wisdom removes that naiveness. It makes us more prudent. And like being prudent is being more cautious in what we do, what we say, how we do it, when we say it. And that's all we just been reading and getting out of Proverbs. Like, this isn't me like preaching to people or trying to tell people like, hey, you living like this. Like, that ain't what this is set up for. This is set up for you to have a added benefit to your life. I'm not trying to persuade people to, you know, be Christians or be religious. I'm not a religious person, you know. I just try to be the best reflection of Christ as possible, try to keep his word, do my best in walk in what I talk. And you know what I'm saying, like, we human, so nobody is never gonna be perfect. And I never try to use this in my relationship with Christ for people to like put me on this in an unattainable pedestal where I'm not allowed to be human or make mistakes. But my perfection is in Christ. So as long as that's perfected, then if I'm single-eyed on that, then those little errors and those things that make me imperfect, I'll get better at and be better at. And that's what my goal and desire is, for everybody to just be better. And that's what we've been reading and learning in Proverbs. So without further ado, so we on chapter 23, and we still looking at life and conduct. The better your conduct, the better your life. You feel me? So let's get to it. Hey, I appreciate that, Kayla. You motivate me. That's what we do. It's a give. You feel me? Reach one, teach one. Like, I'm learning too, learning right with you. So we gonna tap in, man, and we gonna make it happen. So verse 1, chapter 23. And some of this stuff, like, we don't necessarily like understand it right when we hear it, but if I can expound on it to break it down, I will. And then you'll be able to see yourself in it. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to see like how it relates to you. You feel me? So, all right, let's get to it. Proverbs 23, chapter 23, verse 1. It says, when you sit down to dine with a ruler, consider carefully what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you are a man of great appetite. Do not desire his delicacies, for it is deceptive food. So basically, like what this is saying right here, like it says when you sit down to dine with somebody, or when you take communion with people, or when you entertain relationships, or business ideas, or coming together on something, like what the wisdom, what Proverbs is saying is like, when you sit down, consider carefully everything. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody is offering something to you, or when you're getting ready to make a decision based off of what somebody else said, or even how you feeling, like it's saying like always consider everything. Like look at all the X and O's, all the factors. Somebody presenting something to you with this hand, ask them what's in the other hand, like what's behind, what's the back end of the deal. So it's saying consider carefully what is before you. So like even if it's a deal before you, even if it's a friendship before you, a job offer, like consider everything that's in front of you before you. What's up, Taylor? What's up, Jessica? Appreciate y'all. Fear, what up, Brody? And it says, do not desire his delicacies, for it is deceptive food. So what that's saying is like everything that glitter ain't what it is. Everything that would it seem. It's like when you hustle, and like when I would sell dope, like one of the biggest rules that I always learned and stuck to was like, not every sale is the best sale. Not all money is good money. So what it's saying is not everybody is for you. Not every situation is to benefit you. Sometimes people want to present something that's beneficial for you, but really they're benefiting from the most. It's like where somebody want to just drain you. Wisdom will allow us to see that. God's word will allow us to be able to examine it. And it's like basically we just don't think before we act a lot. Like we don't look at every possible pro and con. Like we just look at all the pros and then we compromise on a few of the cons. We be like, I can handle that, I'm cool with that. But we don't know how detrimental those cons can be. So what it's saying is just consider everything before you. Like think about everything from a different perspective, not from how it just affects you, but how it affects the next person, your kids, your, you know what I'm saying, all those things. Verse 4 says, do not weary yourself to gain wealth. Cease from consideration of it. When you set your eyes on it, it is gone. For wealth certainly makes itself wings, like an eagle that flies toward the heavens. So all that's really saying is just when it comes to like power, money, possessions, material things, like don't strain yourself to be rich. Don't lose yourself. Don't forfeit your integrity, your morals, your genuineness. Like don't let things, if you think more positive this way, but what you can get will cause you to react or be negative. Like it's saying like don't strain to be rich, like to where you have a desire for wealth so much that like you tire yourself and you like cut off people and you drain. Because what it's saying is that if you set your eyes on it, and the moment that you like put all your trust into it, the moment that you let it take place in your heart, it's saying for it will make itself like wings and it fly away. So basically what it's saying is like money come and go, but your life, your energy, your relationships, like those things are concrete though. Those things you just can't get and replace and get and replace. But money, like, man, that's a byproduct of whatever you doing diligent, whatever you being proactive in, whatever you being consistent in. Money, prestige, material things, those are byproducts of being focused, of being locked in. But your behavior, your conduct, money can't buy that. Money can't fix that. Money can't improve that. You know what I'm saying? That's where we get this wisdom. We get God's word. Like, shoot, that's what I need to help me stay focused, to stay mentally sharp. A bag ain't gonna help me love people more. A bag ain't gonna help me not hold grudges. That's not what a bag is gonna do. So, verse 6 says, do not eat the bread of a selfish man or desire his delicacies. For as he thinks within himself, so he is. He says to you, eat and drink, but his heart is not with you. So that's just when you learn certain people just ain't really for you, ain't really with you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't have dinner with people who are, you know what I'm saying, always intent on making the tea, drinking the tea, and spilling the tea. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't entertain certain people and certain things, because if you do to a certain degree, if you do it so much, then you'll become like them. And what it's saying is, for as he thinks within himself, so is he. So whatever you are in here, whatever you think of yourself right here, is who you're gonna be outwardly. So if you always constantly dwelling on the pessimistic stuff, the negativity, if you always dwelling on I can't, I wish, I'm not able to, the more and more that you focus and dwell on that, the more and more you'll become it. That's why I was saying yesterday, you got to always overwhelm yourself with optimism. Always speak life. Always speak positivity. Like no matter what the situation look like, because your words dictate the road that you travel. Your words create your very life. So if you say that like, man, I'm never going to be able to, you better believe you ain't never going to be able to. But if you keep saying like, man, I can, I will, I must, don't, like your words are so powerful because there's so much faith behind them. So if you say like, yeah, I got this little job, then yeah, that's what your job is going to be. It's going to be literally, I'm getting this little bit of, so always think what you are. You know what I'm saying? Verse 9 says, do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. So how many times have you tried to help somebody with a good word or good wisdom, and then they despise what you say? They don't keep up with what you saying. They don't follow through with what you saying. Or like when you trying to show somebody love, and the first thing that they do is respond back with something negatively. So it's basically saying like, don't speak in the hearing of a fool. Don't waste your pearls. Don't waste your goodness on dry ground, on negative ground, on ground that won't produce nothing. Like you want your counsel to be among people who just like you, like-minded, focused, driven. Or if you not like that, you want to surround yourself with more people like that. So I look at it like, the more I hang in this word, the more I hang with Jesus, the more I get this wisdom, the more I'm able to be a reflection of that. The more I'm able to carry it out, and the more my conduct is better in my life. You know what I'm saying? And the more impactful my life will be. Verse 10, do not move the ancient boundary or go into the fields of the fatherless, for their Redeemer is strong. He will plead their case against you. Verse 12 says, apply your heart to discipline. Apply your heart to discipline, and your ears to the word of knowledge. So when we apply our heart to discipline, that gives us self-control. So if there's areas in your life, if there's addictions, bad habits, if you kind of see this trend where you constantly making the same mistakes, it's because you haven't applied your heart to discipline. Like when we apply our heart to stuff, then we become it. And it's saying the word, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The same as like when somebody let like drink, and when they get really, you know what I'm saying, buzzy or get wet, like they might be the most, you know, kindest, sweetest person, whatever. But then when that liquor get in them, you like, dang, it's like Heller Keller, like you didn't flip the script. That's because like really what they drink, it intensifies and it makes more known who they are. So is the same thing in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have a good attitude and a good spirit when everything is going good, but what happens when the trenches, you know what I'm saying, when a trial come your way, when tribulations come your way, whatever is really here is what's going to come out and how you're going to respond. So we want to apply our heart to discipline, like discipline everything to make your conduct better in life. Discipline to like make you more proactive, to make you more just like just focus on those areas that you want to improve in. Everything starts with the heart, man. Like if your heart is in a corrupt place, then your life is going to be in a corrupt place. And then it says, and then apply to your ears the words of knowledge. So this is like what we get knowledge. So it ain't about just being a hearer of the word, but it's about being a doer of the word. We want to not only hear it, but we want to do it. And what is doing it? That's applying it. You feel what I'm saying? So verse 13 says, do not hold back discipline from the child. Although you strike him with the rod, he will not die. So that's basically saying like train your child up in the way they should go. You know, spare the rod, correct the error that's in, because like God corrects us. He corrects me. Like there's error in us, and God disciplines us with our consequences. So when we make decisions, when we do certain things that feel good, that seem good in the moment, we didn't really examine it, we didn't really consider it carefully, God removes the sin, he forgives the sin, like you Gucci on that. But the consequences though, so like, you know, with me, I learned early, like, bruh, you know, I just popping out so many kids, and it's like, it's a blessing, but you know, the situation that you create, the environment that you create. You know, if you got a bunch of baby mamas and a bunch of baby daddies, it ain't saying that you can't be redeemed from that and bounce back. But what I'm saying is that the consequences, the results of your decision, unwise decision, it doesn't go away. So it's to be looked at as like a reminder. So what God does then is he'll let the consequence, you know, kind of afflict you. So then you'll realize like, dang, I can't keep moving like that. I gotta do better. What's up, cuz? Eric, I see you in the building. Denise in the building. Tamara in the building. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. I don't know if y'all still here or not, but man, thank you for joining in. God bless you. Love y'all. It says, verse 14 says, so you shall strike him with the rod and rescue his soul from the grave. So that's what God ultimately wants to do with his word when he correcting us. When you feel like, man, my prayers is going unanswered, or why this happening, or why that happening. First, ask yourself that first. And then answer those questions. What did I do to contribute to this decision that has brought me this result? What did what role did I play in why I'm in debt, or why my finances is, you know, what money did I use in a wasteful way? You feel me? Then we go to God. We don't ask God the questions. We just thank God for the solutions. Like, that's what we do. Like, don't ask God why. He's all knowing. Like, he has a plan for your life. But the thing is, thank God for the solution. Thank God for the way out. Thank God for it, because then that's when he gonna reveal and show you, I'm gonna make a way of escape. Like, yup, you might have did this. You might have, you know, went this route. Yup, you might have been off course. Yup, you might have fell short. But then God is like, don't ask me the results of your decisions, the free will I gave you, but come to me and be like, hey, Lord, I need more wisdom. I need more understanding. I need more guidance. And then that's when God reveals himself. And then you don't look at God as like, it's your fault. God woke you up this morning. He ain't wake you up to fail you. You feel me? What's up, Latasha? How you doing? Hey, baby. God bless you. I thank you for tapping in. So that's the thing with, like, I'm just really want people to understand that, like, man, God is not like this. Even having a relationship with him, it's not this thing where it's like, I gotta do this, do that, do this. It's like, no, you already got grace. God has given you grace. He's given us Jesus Christ. Whether you believe it or not, like, he's still the most talked about man ever. He's still the most controversial man ever. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing about this is a ploy to control me or to enslave me, or there is nothing wrong. I've never experienced nothing wrong with having a relationship with God, other than just so much favor, so much blessing, so much life, maturity. Cuzzo, Robbie, what's up, Brody? Appreciate you for tapping in, my G. Love you, boy. So yeah, like, this whole thing, this whole walk is not easy. But man, what walk is easy? We'll try everything else. I didn't try sex. I didn't try drugs. I didn't try, you know, selling dope. I didn't smoke. I didn't drunk. I didn't try everything to fill voids. I didn't make bad decisions. I didn't have bad habits. And it's like, shoot, why not give God a try? Why not see where this can take me? And then what God does, and then he shows you your error. He humbles you. Like, you gonna get broke down before he builds you up. Because we got to break down the cycle, the curses. We got to break down the wrong thinking. We got to break down the wrong mental approach to life. And then that helps our conduct. And then now we're able to, like, share that with our kids, with our family, with our community. Now we building this bubble of positivity, this bubble of blessing, this bubble of love, learning how to forgive, not hold grudges. You don't have a heart designed to train you to do that. Only God can reveal that. Only God can bring that to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we get in the word and reading it. So, because some of us don't even know it. Some of us think that it's just a religious thing. Like, I got to go to church and I got to pay tithes and I got to wear. That's all outward. That's all surface. But a relationship with the Lord is inward. It's here. And where you at here and what you do privately is who you are publicly. It's what you do when you know what I'm saying, if you able to, like, really maneuver in a way when ain't nobody watching, that's positive, then imagine how much more you're gonna be when people are watching. So that's how I kind of always look at it. If I can be a reflection of Christ in my private time, ain't nobody watching, ain't nobody seeing what I'm doing, then there's a situation that might come up where people will be like, dang, like, I ain't had to say nothing. They just see how I responded. So turn up. Verse 15 says, my son, if your heart is wise, my own heart also will be glad, and my inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak what is right. So even in the face of a bad situation, if you speak life over it, if you speak goodness over it, you know what I'm saying? The ops, like, people gonna hate you, people gonna dislike what you do, everybody not gonna agree with what you, decisions you make. But what happens is when your lips speak what is right, when it's a situation where there might be some gossip or some backbiting or some some slander, and then you don't fall into that trap, you speak life over the situation, your conduct, which is what we're talking about, your conduct will then convict that person, will then convict that situation, and then they'll respond. And that's where God then makes your enemies at your footstool. That's why it says he prepares a table. He prepares a whole spread of blessings before your enemies, in the presence of your enemies. And then they're gonna have to tap in with you. They're gonna have to fool with you. And if they don't, it ain't your job to repay evil with evil. God says, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I will repay. Bro, listen. I be so chill now. But Lord, what's happening? Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. I be so chill now. Like, my vibes are always just like, people think I'm like weird because I'm just always like on the above things. I can't focus on nothing below. I can't even dare entertain negative energy. I can't. Because guess what? It don't get me closer to nothing. Staying depressed, staying with a bad attitude, it don't get me closer to my prize. It don't get me closer to being mad at people, holding grudges. People be so hung up on, I did this for that person, and then they didn't. That's because your expectations is what kill you. When you got too high expectations on people, oh man, Ralph, what's up, Brody? Love you, G. God bless you. Thanks for tapping in. When you got too high expectations on people, frail, imperfect people, then you always gonna be let down. But when your expectation is on God, when your foundation is built on God, built on his word, then we gotta look at God and we gotta watch. And it's like, that's who I hold my standard against. So when people fail me, I don't get mad at them. When people, talk down, or when people, CJ, my boy, what's up, G? When people do that, my mindset is so on the above thing that it can't never bring me down. I will never allow depression and anxiety. I will never allow fear and worry and who the president and police and race. I pray for that thing, but the thing is, I ain't slow though. We're not slow though. You don't still just be naive and just be like, oh, you can just do what you want to me. And like, nah, see, wisdom will give you an advantage on how to, even when somebody trying to set you up, they setting their own self up because you already established. That's what the word of God does. It already establishes you. So where we at? Verse 17 says, do not let your heart envy sinners, but live in the fear of the Lord always. Surely there is a future and your hope will not be cut off. So what that's saying is, like, man, when you see people, it just seems like everything is just bubbling for them. Everything is going right. And you know that they just doing some of the most wrong things. With this sense, like, don't let your heart envy sinners. So for instance, one thing that I would say was one of my biggest struggles was like sex. You know what I'm saying? And once I gave my life to the Lord, and I know all my homies just be like smashing, everything. And it would seem like, dang, they cool. Ain't nothing going on with them. Ain't nothing wrong with them. And it's like your heart can become envious of that, where you be like, dang, look at, here I am, having this relationship with the Lord, can't have sex when I want, with who I want, or just whatever it is, whether it's finessing something, manipulating something. And your heart, if it's not in the right place, you can desire that thing or what another person is doing. But you don't know what that's doing to their life. You don't know how that's impacting their relationships. You don't know what it's done to their health. It's always better to have little by doing what's right than to have a lot in doing what's wrong. Because all that which you gain from doing what's wrong is temporal. It don't last long. It's fleeting. It'll be here and it'll be gone. But when you do what's right, when you live by your truth, that's intact. Can't nobody take that from you. Can't nobody take wisdom from you. Can't nobody take if I'm being obedient. It says, if I live in the fear of the Lord always, surely there is a future. There's not a future for people who are foolish, who devise schemes, who hurt, harm, want to kill, you know what I'm saying? Finesse, like, there's no future for them. Like, yup, they living and they walking and they breathing. But how long does that last in what they doing? So it says here that if I fear the Lord, meaning that if I have this reverence for God, like this obedient heart, like, all right, Lord, it's hard walking this road, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to do it anyway. People hate me. I'm going to love them anyway. People despise me. I'm going to give them love. I'm going to encourage them anyway. And what happened is, it says your hope will not be cut off. So the way we move and the way we pursue things is because we have a hope. And God gives us a continued hope, even though we live in a world that wants to crush hope. It wants to destroy faith. But if we don't apply and participate, God can't activate. So you can have self-will, you can be the most strongest willed person and be like determined, but you still human. You're gonna have off days. Ain't no days off with God. Ain't no days off in his word. This thing is set in stone. It's black and white. It don't ever change. It's always here to lift you up. You can always find yourself somewhere in this. Now, if you allow another person to get in your ear and convolute and pollute your thinking and your mindset and wanting to have a relationship with the Lord, then if you allow another person's perspective be your fact, then you now believe in sharing that idea. And now their definition has now defined you. And I don't do that. I don't let people's definition define me. I didn't give you the opinion and I didn't ask your opinion. Only opinion that I'm concerned with is that of God's, which means his glory. That's the only opinion that I'm concerned with. And when you live like that, man, can't nothing take you off your high horse. Not arrogantly, but can't nothing take you off like, shoot, man, my vibes is just always 100. And then you able to create, you able to continue to invest properly. Your focus is always sharp. Your clarity is always HD, crystal clear. Because why? You're not focusing on the stupid stuff. You're not focusing on the bickering. You're not focusing on the foolery. You just focused on the prize. And then you like at the same time, like, shoot, if I'm following Christ, he gonna help me lead you. And I'm following him, I can't lead you to a ditch. But sometimes we follow people blindly. They don't even know where they going. Or we have problems and we run from them and don't know where we going with the problems. I just run to God with them all day. So listen, my son, and be wise. So Proverbs is like a father talking to his son. He's always referring to like, listen, hear, take advice. Like, I wish I listened a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, when I was younger, but we all got a path that we go to help us mature so that when we get certain things, we can handle it better. So listen, my son, and be wise, and direct your heart in the way, meaning in the right way. Direct your heart toward that what is good, what is noble, what is honorable, what is just. I'm not saying like be like this robot or something, bro. But what I'm saying is when you just constantly focus on just doing not the right thing, but the righteous thing. You know, sometimes doing the right thing ain't enough. But to do the righteous thing, it goes a long way. You feel me? It says, do not be with heavy drinkers of wine or with gluttonous eaters of meat. For the heavy drinker and the glutton will come to poverty, and drowsiness will clothe one with rags. So what that's saying is what you consume. You know, don't be around people that consume a lot of the wrong stuff. Even if we can break it down in this most elementary thing, like just say if you want to like lose weight, or you want to, you know what I'm saying, gain the right type of weight, or you want to, you know, clear your skin, you know, what it is there's certain things that you can't consume for that to happen. Same as the company you keep, the music you listen to, the stuff you watch. Everything has to be done in moderation. So yeah, there's certain stuff that I do listen to, stuff I don't. Certain stuff I watch, certain stuff I just can't, because if I do, I'm feeding it into here and here, and whatever goes in here, it comes out of here, or it plants seeds in here. So like with porn, I used to like just, you know, really be into porn. And then what it would do is it would entice me to then be promiscuous in real life. So the visual thing would turn into a reality. And then now I'm putting myself at risk of so much stuff. That's how deep it just get with what you feed into you. So don't be so heavy to consume a lot of things that aren't beneficial or that won't uproot you. Well, not uproot you, but that won't create solid roots. Because that's what it says. People that get consumed with things, you become content in that. So if you constantly consuming, you know, even like if we just think of like drinking or smoking, like, I mean, I don't necessarily say it's a sin if you drink. Smoking is different. I don't know, because sometimes you smoke, man, if you get laced or something, and now you enter this other world, you seeing stuff, or because it makes you sensitive to the supernatural. So certain things that might create just issues, I got to stay away from. So when you look at, if you become too intoxicated with the pursuit of money, the pursuit of riches, what happens is then, or just things that kill your creativity or kill your hunger. Like if you can be consumed with laziness, and then what it's saying is that a person that is a heavy drinker or gluttonous or that consumes the wrong things, then they come to poverty. So like if you consume a laziness, then you'll be clothed with rags and not with, you know, real drip. You know what I'm saying? If that example makes sense. Verse 22 says, listen to your father who begot you, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Verse 23, buy truth and do not sell it. Get wisdom and instruction and understanding. So when it says buy truth and do not sell it, it's not really saying like you can purchase it, but you can invest in it. You can invest in truth, like even just any book. You can invest in truth and then apply, get the wisdom, get the instruction, get the understanding, so that you don't be out here not knowing. Verse 24, the father of the righteous will greatly rejoice, and he who sires a wise son will be glad in him. So God rejoices, or even parents, when we do well, they rejoice, because now we're a reflection of them. So I always think of who you're a reflection of. You're your own brand. You are your own entity. So you don't want to bring shame to your brand. So how does that happen? Your conduct, how you behave, your lifestyle. Then now you're able to be a reflection of who you are and whose you are. Let your father and your mother be glad, and let her rejoice who gave birth to you. There's a lot of people that's brought shame to their people, and they not even here no more to fix it or to correct it or to make better on it. So our lives are a vapor, man. Like every day that we wake up and we are able to open our eyes from when we went to sleep and breathe, it's another day where God is like another day of purpose and destiny for you. God didn't wake you up for you to be in turmoil. You know what I'm saying? God woke you up so that you can get closer to him and have a beautiful life here and after. Verse 26 says, give me your heart, my son, and let your eyes delight in my ways. So it's like what God is saying, like, let me have this. Let me have this. Why? Not because I want to control you in that sense. Let me have this so I can steer you. Let me be the driver. You just follow the GPS. But it's a faith thing. That's the only difference between a person who does and doesn't. It's really just faith. You know, having a relationship with the Lord, man, it takes 100% faith. Everybody don't have that type of faith. They believe that they do, but they don't. Everybody don't have that type of faith. So when it says, give me your heart, my son, I always apply this and look at it from the perspective of God talking to you. So God is saying, give me your heart and let your eyes delight in my way. So I can see Jesus in the word. So I watch how he responded when people attacked him. I watched how he responded when there was little faith. And when I watch that, and my eyes will delight in it, and then I'll be able to replicate it in my own life. Verse 27 says, for a harlot is a deep pit, and an adulterous woman is a narrow well. Surely she lurks as a robber and increases the faithless among men. So this is men that, you know, you marry, you want to be faithful. You can apply to women too. It's just avoiding those pitfalls of temptation and lust because those things is heavy. They hard to like break for real when you in that type of entanglement. Like I was in an entanglement with Satan, especially when it came to that. And God just delivered me from it. Like, that's all I can say. Like, he just delivered me from that itch, that bite, you know what I'm saying, to indulge in that type of just pleasure and sin. And it feel good in the moment, but the after effect is different though. It's never, if you notice, the after effect never feels the same as the before. Verse 29, we got just 6 more verses. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has complaining? These are questions. Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who linger long over wine, those who go to taste mixed wine. Do not look on the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. At the last, it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. Your eyes will see strange things and your mind will utter perverse things. So what that's saying is, when it says all the who has woe, who has sorrows, like sometimes you need an outlet if you're going through something, you know, not saying that what you should be dependent on, because some people depend on drugs or drinking or sex or power or money or greed as an outlet when they dealing with certain things. But certain situations can cause for, you know, you might need some wine. You might need a good time with your family or your friends, in moderation though, not to where you get yourself in a jam. But then when it's saying is, verse 30, it says, those who linger long over wine, those who go to taste mixed wine, do not look on the wine when it is red. So like if you have Noel, my guy, what's up, Brody? You see what it is? We just getting in this word. G, love you, dog. So if I could just use for an example, if you have an addiction like to whatever type of sin, so if it's just for the sense it's talking about wine. So if you're wanting to break free from that dependency on alcohol, don't stare at something that already tempts you, that you already kind of like enslaved to. So like for me, if I know that I struggle with lust, then I'm not gonna stare at something that I'm watching. I'm not gonna just stare at it, because see, what happens is when I stare at it, I ponder on it, and then when I ponder on it, then it starts to become a seed planted here. And then when I keep looking at her, that seed here then goes to here, and I start visualizing, I start seeing it, I start plotting, I start reasoning. I have a conversation with myself like, I can just talk to her. Oh, she cool, I just get her number. Like, you know, so, and you can convince, like, we lie to ourselves. We convince ourselves to do something that's wrong, even though we know we shouldn't. So what it's saying is, don't even put yourself in the situation by just staring. Because then when you stare, you like contemplate and you scheme, and that's how we get in trouble. Then we start having this conversation with ourselves, like, you know, you start then bringing different examples in your mind of what somebody else isn't doing, or what they're not giving you, or what you need, or because we can make up so many things like, well, man, the world's set up, everybody else do it, you know, the white man corrupt and he robbing and stealing, and the black man finessing, and you know, the Asians, they come over here and you can just have all these ideas to convince yourself to do something that you shouldn't do. So when we take part in that, it says at last. So you done did it, you done acted it out, you done thought about it, you done had the plan, you done carried it out, you done drunk it, you done tasted it, whatever it is, you done had sex, you done smoked it, you done drank it, you done robbed it, whatever. Then it says at last, it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. So it's saying is, now you enjoyed what you did, and now comes the consequences, now comes the after effect, now comes the results of what you decided to do. And it says it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. That's how bad our decisions can just hit us where it hurt the most. And then it says your eyes will see strange things and your mind will utter perverse things. So that's like when you just drunk or too high or intoxicated in lust, or you know, just these different devices, you'll see strange things. And not like you'll see things that are like weird, but like your mindset now, your vision will be so polluted that you'll see what's wrong and it'll be presented to you as what's right. Now you just completely deceived. You know what I'm saying? Now you operating in deception, and now you gonna look at God and be like, why you do this and why you allow it? And God like, no, you got in the way of you first. and then you got in the way of me. Like, God is not the problem creator, he's the problem solver. We create the problems, then we want God to solve them. Whereas God like, nah, let me give you wisdom so that you always just creating solutions, and I'm ordering your steps. So then verse 34 says, and you will be like one who lies down in the middle of the sea, or like one who lies down on the top of a mast. They struck me, but I did not become ill. They beat me, but I did not know it. When will I awake? When will I seek another drink? So what that's saying is like, when you are operating, and that was it, that was our last verse. When you are operating in an intoxicated mindset, when you are intoxicated by the world and the things of it and the cares of this life, when you are intoxicated by it, it's almost like just kind of floating through life, sleep. And then when you wake up, you feel the pain of the beating that you gave yourself in the decision. Like there was a moment when I was homeless and living out of my car, and when I was like trying to go to school, trying to go back to school, and I was living out of my trunk. And when I would be sleeping in the basement of the church, or like when I would have my kids and I would need to have them because they might, and I had to bring them to the church to where I was living, and the church didn't know it. That was a moment where I was asleep for years, and then I woke up and was like, dang, look what I created. Like, look what I did. So imagine if you're able to do that to yourself in that way. Imagine what life you're able to create, living life a righteous way. Imagine how many great things you're able to accomplish when you live life and your conduct be in the right way. You know what I'm saying? And at that moment, when I was at my lowest, and I just was like, dang, like I did this. Like I made this a reality. And then that's where God is like, you see? And then when I'm like, yep, and he like, all right, now let's start fixing it. Let's break this off. Let's break selfishness off. Let's break being uncommitted off. Let's break double-mindedness off. Let's break unfaithfulness off. All right, let's shave some blindness here. Let's get rid of some lust there. Let's take away some of the lying here. And what God does, he like, yeah, I had to like break you down, and now I'm gonna build you up. And then I can see it's just night and day. You feel me? But how does that happen? God's wisdom, the word of God, having a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like, I'm not a preacher, I don't have a church, and I don't, I just a servant, man. Like I had an experience, and that's where I'm at. So sharing that is to encourage you, to let you know that like you can do it. You can live life to the fullest. You can live a blessed life, still be you, but there's things that God just want to break off, layers that he needs to break off so that you can be what he's called you to be. Imagine that if we don't have wisdom, imagine like with me, and I don't have this discipline, or I don't have this wisdom, and I'm not saying it like I'm just this grand, but I'm saying imagine that if I wasn't committed to the one who is committed to me, and I come into like X amount of money, or God takes me, how I just be back and forth in LA, and I just be amongst people that don't have no type of relationship with the Lord, and there's drinking and smoking, and I'm, in these mansions, and there's women, and there's just access to anything you want. Now, God wouldn't allow me to be able to do that if he can't trust me, because he done broke me down to where I can see it clearly and be like, you know what, I'm here on a mission. I'm here on an assignment. It ain't always about me being here because of the music, because of the acting. It ain't always about me being here because I'm trying to get the bag for my family. Like, man, all that's going to be taken care of. But God is like, hey, look, there's some dark areas in the world that I just need somebody to just be a light in, to just be a faithful servant in, to just be able, like, God's so instrumental, man. He's so like pinpoint that sometimes God wants you to be in a situation that will bring you blessings, But just so when a person might offer you something that's killing them and you say no, and they ask like, why didn't you? And then you able to just then open up this whole new world to them. And they like, dang, like, you a Christian, bro? And you here in the hills? Like, how you know what I'm saying? Like, that ministers, that witnesses to people. So then what it does is, what happened is your conduct, my conduct. So, you know, like, there's certain things I can't say when I'm around my people. I can't do certain stuff. I can't. Sometimes I can be around, sometimes I can't. Why? Because I need to constantly, like, the way the world is right now, the way life is, especially like the way God has set up, is that the obedience of another person could be all the difference in the life saving of another person. So if I start going astray and start compromising and start being like getting loose and lax, man, somebody needs you. Somebody need me. Somebody need me to like stay on my game. Somebody needed me to get up every day and read a chapter of Proverbs. If it's just one person, somebody needed it. So that's the mission, man. But with that, man, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Like I said, I got a late start today, but listen, it ain't about how you always start, man. It's about how you finish. You finish strong, you still did what you had to do. I still got to the spot. I still did what I had to do. Still put it out there, and we got to it. I'm going to be back on it tomorrow, Lord's will, 6:30 a.m., Proverbs 24. We're going to tap in. So, man, I love everybody. I thank y'all for y'all support. For just tapping in, for the engagement, you know what I'm saying? And may God just like keep you in perfect peace. May he be your joy, your fulfillment, your satisfaction. May God just carry you, and may you just experience the love of God. You know what I'm saying? Experience the love of God. Y'all have a blessed day. Hey, bro, man, look. I've been doing these since November 2nd. So on my YouTube channel, bro, we 22 chapters in. So, man, anytime you want to tap in and we just read it and I do exactly like what I did, we just break it down. You already know, bro, you can hit me too. Like, that's what we here for, just building blocks for each other. So I pray y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Or, you know, even it's Friday. So enjoy the weekend. Be blessed. And just remember, man, that you are an overcomer. Don't let nothing stop you. And don't let another person's definition define you. Period. Love y'all, gang.